Greetings my saplings. In today's video we are going to be discussing the Yeezy 350 V2 Lundmark in the reflective and also the non-reflective. To be specific, like always in these how to cop guides, we will be talking about some release info, how to cop them, and of course, like always, some resale predictions to end off the video. With that short little intro though, why don't we jump right into this? So let's kick it off with some release info. The reflective Yeezy 350 V2 Lundmark drops July 11th for $220. If you're watching this video before July 11th, of course, that's only in a couple of hours, so get ready. And if you're watching this video after July 11th, it would be suggested that you turn on post notifications and subscribe, just in case you didn't see this in time. Regarding the non-reflective pair, that pair is going to be dropping July 13th for $220 in men's sizes, then 160 in kid sizes, and 140 in infant sizes. Both of these are North America exclusive, just like the Synth and the Ant Leas were also region exclusive. Now, moving on to how to cop these. Let's talk about how you could get your hands on a pair of these yourself. We're going to start with the non-reflective, considering I know a majority of you guys might actually be watching this video after the reflective drop. Anyway, these, like all Yeezys, will be dropping at numerous locations and sites, but only for North American retailers. For the sake of your guys' time, we're only going to be going over sites I know you guys are going to be able to cop off of manually without a bot and also without monitors, just you and yourself. So we're going to be leaving out a lot of sites because obviously you're going to need to time manage if you're only going by yourself. So anyway, to kick it off, let's start off with foot sites, one of my favorites. When it comes to Yeezys dropping on foot sites, they are going to be dropping at 7 a.m. Eastern time in comparison to most drops, which are going to be usually 10 a.m. Eastern time. They will have the grade school pairs and also the men's pairs on here. The retailers for foot sites include Foot Locker, Champs, East Bay, Foot Action. Of course, I would suggest trying all of these. And yes, guys, it is very, very possible to cop manually. Even if you experience a lot of errors, I highly suggest to keep trying. I've seen people cop as late as 40 minutes into the release. There's not too much going on around this time on the 13th. So again, it's highly suggested you do keep trying your best when it comes to these foot sites. And while we're on the topic of foot sites or foot stores, I do feel it's worth mentioning, make sure you're signed up for reservations on the foot apps. That is the easiest way to get yourself a pair. We've talked about this numerous times. I don't feel like I need to go over it again. Essentially, the goal is to get 10 minutes, a 10-minute head start. You get the extra 3 minutes by spending $300 or more at each of the stores. Then you get the extra minute by checking in at a store, which you don't actually have to do. You can just follow FTL codes. They tweet out the codes to you. You just change your zip code. It's very simple. Please, guys, just a reminder to all you guys out there, even the experienced ones, because I myself have forgotten to do this, make sure to change your zip code back to the actual zip code you're going to be picking up your pairs at. I've won a lot of things in the past, and I've realized, oh shoot, I got to drive 200 miles to pick this up. Fantastic. Also, it's certainly worth mentioning that at foot stores, there are plenty of leftovers. Although they're not going to be the best sizes, there still is profit to be made. So I highly suggest, since it's a Saturday, 3 p.m. local time, leftovers will be given out. However, it's actually the morning for most locations where you do have to go in-store to get tickets. Then, once you get the ticket, you go home, you come back at 3 p.m. local time. But please make sure to call your foot stores ahead of time to make sure this is how they're doing it, because some just simply do it first come first serve, and they make you line up outside the store before 3 p.m. local time. There's a lot of in-store releases, there's a lot of raffles, of course, but I do still feel like leftovers are always the way to go, just because you could get a lot more than one pair doing this. Also, at 7 a.m. Eastern time, since we were just talking about foot sites, Hibbit's also dropping. You could feel free to try there. Then for 10 a.m. Eastern time, there's a ton of stores. It's ridiculous how many are dropping. But, I'm leaving out certain stores, for example, like Jimmy Jazz. You might not want to spend your time there, considering there's so much going on. What you should be focusing on around this time would be Yeezy Supply and Adidas, so let's talk about those briefly. Yeezy Supply can actually go live at any time. There's no exact time. However, I do feel it's worth mentioning that the previous 350 that was non-reflective was at 10 a.m. Eastern time, so I would certainly be aware that Yeezy Supply could be dropping then. And I know that they usually do a password page. However, it's worth noting that they don't always do a password page, so you are at a disadvantage if you don't have a monitor, unfortunately. If I do need to give out any last minute updates, if there's a change, for example, my Twitter is KeithAdam10. Feel free to follow me there. When it comes to Yeezy supply, just like any single Shopify site, the method for copying is very simple, just making a bunch of bypasses and bookmarking them. We've been doing this for almost 3 years now. It's been working like a charm. It's absolutely amazing. Still works for every single Shopify site. But one thing to note is that bypasses do expire, especially when it does come to sites with a lot of traffic, for example, Yeezy supply. So you do want to make as many bypasses as possible, as many times as you can before the release. You could delete old bypasses once you make new ones. And also be sure on all the Chrome users you've made bypasses for, be sure to set up Chrome autofill, because you don't want to forget about that, something that could save you significant time. For all the noobs out there who don't know how to make a bypass, it's very, very simple. All you have to do is add any single random item on that site to your cart. Then you go to the customer info page where you put your address and all that. You simply bookmark that page, you remove the item from your cart, and then there you go. You have the bookmark to use. Once you add the actual Yeezy to your cart on the drop, you simply, when you're in queue, you just hit the bookmark and there you go, you're through. It's very easy. But again, I must stress the fact that bypasses do expire, and they expire even faster when it comes to sites with a lot of traffic. Then, from there, moving on to Adidas. The queue for Adidas will go live at around 9:45 a.m. Eastern time, in that vicinity. That's when you should be setting up all of your Chrome users. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's something we've been doing for many years as well, and it's still been working like a charm. Feel free to check out this video right here if you don't know what it is. For all you guys, the loyal subs, I know you don't want to hear it again. We go over it so much. So yeah, if you happen to be new to this, feel free to check that out. Also, I feel it's worth mentioning because I see the comments a lot. You guys are stressed out. You guys get some errors here and there. It works fine, trust me. No, they didn't patch it or anything like that. If you do happen to get errors, these are the same errors we've been getting for years now. All you got to do is clear cookies and data when you go into your Chrome history. It's that simple, guys. Of course, there's many, many more sites dropping at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Feel free to also, hop in the queue for Finish Line, JD Sports, Kicks USA, whatever floats your boat. But I was just trying to state what you should be focusing on as a manual user if you don't have a monitor or anything. Anyway, with those out of the way though, let's move on to the reflective pair, the pair that I feel a lot of you guys are very, very excited for. Currently, right now, there is a draw going on the Adidas app. You could certainly sign up there. And then the draw itself will be taking place at 11 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow, or I guess you could say in a few hours. And it's also worth mentioning that the black 350 reflectives did just randomly drop on adidas.com at 10 a.m. Eastern time, although since they are dropping through the app, through this draw system, they might not do the same thing, but it's something to look out for. You never know. And moving on, Yeezy supply will be a random time within the next few hours, but I do feel it's worth mentioning when it did come to the previous reflective pair, which was the black 350 reflective on Yeezy supply, that pair did drop at 6 a.m. Eastern time for your reference. But of course, any time is fair game. Kanye could do whatever the heck he wants. And of course, for Yeezy supply, it's the same exact setup that we talked about for the non-reflective pair just a few minutes ago. But with that out of the way, why don't we move on to some resale prediction. To no surprise, the reflective pair is going to do absolutely amazing. They are extremely limited, and of course, because it's a reflective Yeezy 350, it does have very, very high demand. Expect an incredible margin on these. Then moving on to the men's non-reflective, all sizes are still going to be profitable. However, sizes under 7 and sizes over 14 are, of course, going to be the best sizes in terms of profit. When it comes to the kids and infant pairs, it's going to be quite a difficult sell. I would highly suggest just focusing on the men's pairs. Lots of money to be made on this drop, and of course, nice personals. You can't go wrong with a pair of 350s, especially a pair of reflective 350s. Those are pretty loud, some great neck breakers if you like those. With that, I'm going to conclude today's video though. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, or if you perhaps learned a thing or two. Also, subscribe and turn on post notifications to stay 100% updated on any upcoming hype sneaker. With that, I'll see you guys later. Have a fantastic rest of your day.
Now there's just one thing to say. Get your foot off my foot. Ah.